If you have ever felt that incredible surge of excitement when a piece of gear drops that completely shifts the entire landscape of professional imaging, then you need to lean in close right now, because what Sony has just unleashed with the brand new Sony A7R VI is not just an incremental update, it is an absolute tectonic shift in the camera world. For years, creators, landscape photographers, commercial shooters, and hybrid storytellers across the United States have faced an agonizing compromise. You either went for ultra-high resolution, sacrificing speed, processing power, and heavy video capabilities, or you invested in a lightning-fast sports body, leaving massive chunks of detail and cropping power on the table. Those days are officially gone. Sony has shattered the boundary lines, bridged the gap between raw resolution and blistering speed, and delivered a camera that forces us to completely rewrite everything we thought we knew about high-end mirrorless systems. If you want to understand why every major creator forum is buzzing, why top-tier professionals are completely rethinking their kits, and why this specific body changes the game for good, you need to stay right here, keep your eyes locked on this screen, and listen to every single word of this deep dive because we are about to break down the engineering marvel that is the Sony A7R VI. Let us start with the core of the beast, the sensor, because this is where Sony decided to flip the script entirely. Previous generations of the R series relied heavily on back-illuminated sensors that delivered breathtaking, jaw-dropping megapixel counts, but they came with rolling shutter limitations and readout speeds that kept them out of high-speed action arenas. With the A7R VI, Sony has integrated an astonishing approximately 66.8 effective megapixel fully stacked XMR RS CMOS sensor. Let that sink in for a moment. We are not talking about a standard BSI sensor. We are talking about a fully stacked architecture paired with the powerhouse BIONZ XR2 processor. This means you get the best of both worlds, nearly 67 megapixels of hyper-detailed resolution combined with the blazing fast data readouts that we previously only saw in ultra-expensive flagship sports cameras. What does this mean for you out in the field? It means when you frame up a sprawling landscape in the mountains of Utah or a fleeting wildlife moment in Alaska, you are capturing microscopic textures, individual feathers, and distant architectural elements with crystal-clear precision, and you are doing it without any operational bottlenecks slowing you down. Think about what happens when a critical moment unfolds right in front of your lens. In the past, high-resolution shooters had to cross their fingers and pray that a single, sluggish burst frame caught the peak of the action. The Sony A7R VI completely demolishes that limitation by offering up to 30 frames per second continuous shooting with full autofocus and auto-exposure tracking, all while delivering 14-bit RAW files. 30 frames per second on a 67-megapixel sensor is an engineering miracle. Think about the sheer volume of data being processed, written, and buffered in real time. Sony's dual CF Express Type A and SD card slots working alongside the advanced data management of the BIONZ XR2 engine ensure that your buffer clears fast, keeping you ready for the next sequence. But it does not stop there. Sony has also integrated raw pre-capture technology into this body. For wildlife photographers and street shooters, pre-capture is nothing short of a superpower. As soon as you half-press the shutter button, the camera continuously buffers images, meaning that when you fully depress the switch, the camera has already recorded the frames leading up to that exact moment. You will never again miss a bird taking flight, a splash of water, or a split-second expression because your reaction time was a fraction of a millisecond too slow. Now, let's talk about handheld shooting stability, because high-resolution sensors are brutally unforgiving. The slightest micro-shake, the tiniest breeze, or hand tremor will instantly ruin a 67-megapixel capture if your stabilization system is not performing at an elite level. Sony understood this challenge intimately and completely redesigned the in-body image stabilization mechanism for the A7R VI. We are looking at a phenomenal, industry-leading system. The T delivers up to 8.5 stops of compensation at the center and 7 stops at the periphery. Let that number digest for a second. 8.5 stops. This changes how you work in low-light environments, urban nightscapes, or deep wilderness settings where carrying a heavy tripod is simply not an option. You can drop your shutter speeds down to unbelievable lengths while maintaining absolute pin-sharp clarity. Combined with composite RAW shooting modes that allow you to merge multiple high-resolution frames in camera or via software, the level of micro-detail, color fidelity, and dynamic range, pushing up to 16 stops, gives commercial and landscape creators a digital canvas that rivals medium-format systems at a fraction of the weight, cost, and complexity. For the hybrid creators and professional videographers watching this right now, Sony knew they could not afford to hold back on motion picture capabilities. The A7R VI is an absolute powerhouse for video production. We are talking about internal 8K recording at up to 30 frames per second in 10-bit 4:2:2 oversampled from a massive 8.2K readout area, giving you cinematic detail that cuts seamlessly alongside dedicated cinema lines. If your workflow demands high frame rate slow motion, the camera delivers pristine 4K video at up to 120 frames per second, allowing you to capture silky smooth, highly detailed cinematic sequences without sacrificing resolution or entering severe crop penalties when utilizing angle of view priority settings. Sony has also packed in advanced thermal management architectures, ensuring that you can run prolonged 8K and 4K sessions without running into catastrophic thermal shutdown warnings in the middle of a vital interview, wedding, or commercial shoot. The inclusion of dual USB Type-C ports, robust live streaming protocols, UVC and UAC compliance, and advanced audio integration options like the XLR adapter support with 32-bit float capability turns this photographic powerhouse into an elite, all-in-one broadcast and cinema tool. Let's move on to the autofocus system, because having all these pixels and processing capabilities means nothing if the camera cannot lock onto your subject instantly and stubbornly refuse to let go. Sony's AI-based real-time recognition autofocus has been heavily upgraded in the A7R VI, featuring a dedicated deep learning processing unit that identifies an astonishing array of subjects. Whether you are shooting human subjects in complex lighting, tracking fast-moving wildlife, birds in flight, insects, trains, cars, or airplanes, the tracking algorithms predict movement with terrifying accuracy. The focus points cover practically the entire sensor area with 759 phase detection points, ensuring that even if your subject is dancing around the extreme edges of your frame, the camera's iron grip tracking keeps them razor sharp. Coupled with an advanced visible light and infrared sensor working alongside deep learning illumination estimation, auto-white balance performance is more stable and natural than ever before, eliminating unwanted color shifts when moving rapidly between bright open sunlight and heavy deep shadows. When you pick up a camera and hold it to your eye for hours on end, ergonomics, build quality, and viewing experience dictate whether the tool feels like an extension of your body or an exhausting burden. Sony listened carefully to user feedback from previous iterations and refined the physical design of the A7R VI. The electronic viewfinder is an absolute masterpiece, a 9.44 million high-resolution OLED panel running at a buttery-smooth 120 Hz refresh rate, giving you a near-optical viewing experience with zero noticeable lag or blackout during rapid bursts. The rear screen is equally revolutionary, featuring a versatile 4-axis multi-angle LCD design that combines the quick, low-profile tilting mechanics favored by photographers with the fully articulated side-opening freedom needed by solo video shooters. The buttons are fully illuminated for low-light astrophotography and night shoots, the grip has been subtly reshaped for superior comfort with heavy telephoto glass, and the weather sealing has been rigorously beefed up to handle moisture, dust, and hostile environmental extremes. Let's address the elephant in the room. Who is this camera actually for, and how does it position itself in the broader market ecosystem? With a body-only price landing around $4,499, the Sony A7R VI commands a serious investment, but one that is strategically placed well below ultra-flagship sports bodies while delivering capabilities that overlap both high-resolution studio work and high-speed action photography. If you are a landscape photographer currently hauling a medium-format setup, the A7R VI offers comparable resolution, vastly superior autofocus, modern connectivity, and incredible stabilization in a compact, weather-sealed full-frame body that travels anywhere. If you are a wedding or commercial shooter, the ability to shoot high-resolution portraits at 30 frames per second while recording pristine 4K 120p video means you can ditch carrying two completely separate camera bodies and handle every single aspect of a client project with one unified, cohesive system. Think about the workflow transformation this enables. In the modern content creation space, speed is currency, but quality is king. Clients in the United States and global markets do not want to compromise. They demand billboard-ready resolution, cinematic motion, and flawless focus tracking. By combining a 67-megapixel stack sensor, 30 frames per second burst capabilities, 16 stops of dynamic range, 85 stops of image stabilization, and professional 8K video into a single refined body, Sony has effectively raised the benchmark for the entire industry. This is not just an update for the sake of an upgrade cycle, it is a mature, highly calculated engineering achievement that addresses every single pain point creators have complained about for the past 5 years.